Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Oh, howdy, will there be adult themes today?
Oh, adult. I have to be adult. I don't want to be adult.
Yes, you're going to have to be adulting.
God damn it. I gotta get my hold of my agent. Don't want to do stupid gigs like this anymore.
Demon or Bear, hello. That's who we have in the chat.
Well, God damn it. Oh, there you are.
And Malia showed up. Hello. And I just realized I have to go get up right away. Yeah, just as you started, because I forgot to grab something.
Well, then get up. I'll entertain. That's my job. Hi, kids. How are y'all today? It is Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. Can you believe that? 2024. You know, I know I was born in 54, so like this is 70 years. And it's just so odd to think about. Remembering back when I was less than 10 years old, walking around the neighborhood block and noticing the house numbers.
Okay.
All excited because at that time they were in the 1900s. And there was one from 1964, which was the next year. And there was another one across the street for 1963. And I figured that all the house numbers were named for the year it is. But you know, when you're just a stupid kid, 8, 9 years old, you know, what do you
know? Not sure. I'm guessing she's laying down. Why don't you go poke her with a stick?
No, it's not right to poke a doggy with a stick.
No, purple. Go poke Purple with a stick.
Well, that would be perfectly humane. Yes. Purple has not been feeling terribly well lately, folks, and it's kind of touch and go with whether or not she's going to feel like she's got enough spoons, as she would say, to do whatever she's got to do.
Yeah.
Where did that spoons thing comes from?
Yeah, this is an analogy to describe how some people have different levels of energy and a physical way of explaining it.
Yeah, but spoons, I mean, okay, so I have a dozen teaspoons. What's the deal? I just don't get why spoons is the word.
That's just what the person used for the analogy.
Well, I don't like it. Man,
what would you rather use?
Cash in the last couple of days. Holy fuck. Everything is so expensive. I had to go and get a prescription.
Hello. Look at the trees.
Do we have a sight of a perp?
See a perp. Today is National Crime Junkie Day. So we obsessed with true crime. Congratulations, you found your holiday. And your fellow crime junkie, he's National Crime Junkie Day. Celebrated on December 18th is a day for true crime enthusiasts to come together and embrace their fascination with the chilling and complex world of real-life mysteries. Crime junkies immerse themselves in the details of notorious crimes and investigate motives, clues, and theories. Today, he highlights the collective curiosity about criminal psychology, the unsolved cases, in the pursuit of justice.
Crime shows are apparently a very big draw on television, and cable, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We have a local TV station, the only one I can get, other than PBS, and well, Fox really isn't a TV station. Anyways, they're not doing well. They're having trouble financially. You can tell that any media center, whether it's radio, TV, whatever, when they start, most of their commercials are for their own news programs. That means that they don't have any advertisers. That's what they use those for fillers, and they've been doing an awful lot of those lately. So I think they're in financial trouble. And so they dumped a number of their shows that were, I'm sure, higher ticket price because they were, syndicated series. And when they opened up the opportunity for stations to have more than one, a sideband, 19.2, 19.3, all that kind of stuff, they got 19.2, 3, 4, and 5. And 4 and 5, they turned into crime shows. Nothing but crime shows, 24/7.
Crime shows.
Yeah, no shit.
Nothing but crime shows.
And
Nothing but...
and that was fine because they've run that for years, and it seems to be successful to get enough advertisers and all this kind of junk. And
Hello.
crime is attractive to people, so they do like to watch that stuff. And maybe ratings are okay, but I hate it. But then they went in, but it was separate, so that's fine. Well, now they've gone into the main station's menu, and they have they had Castle going as a series at 10:30 kind of thing. And Castle's just a great show. I'll watch it 100 times because I'm just in love with them as a couple. But now they pulled that and they replaced it with a judge show, an hour's worth of half-hour judge shows.
Never really got into those judge shows, really.
And then they filled up the noon news. They dropped the noon news and now have an hour's worth of judge show on there. And then they have another judge show from 3 to 4. And then from 4 to 5. And then again at midnight. And it's too much, guys,
So now we get to talk about it here.
It's just so annoying. I'm not expecting great
Authority.
things from a rural TV station, but come on, you've got to be more creative than that.
No, they're really not creative. They have no creativity whatsoever.
Oh, well, apparently. Oh, man. We stopped at Taco John's on the way home.
What's a Taco John's? Is that sort of like a Taco Bell?
Yeah, except good.
Oh, no, I only have Taco Bell here.
That's all we had in Milwaukee, too. I mean, there was a Taco John's, but it was way far away.
Anything
so
good? Anything good around here closes.
Aw.
We had the choice between Chick-fil-A and KFC, and the KFC closed.
Bad move.
Yeah, see, everything good around here closes.
Well, I tried something new at Taco Bell today, or in Taco John's.
Oh.
They have a thing called Ole potatoes, which is, of course, one of those stupid made-up names. And yeah, it's all names are made up. I know that. But anyways, and they're like those, we all know tater tots, but these aren't tater tots. They're like a little larger than, they're made by $50 size potatoes, synthetic, maybe a quarter-inch thick or so, 3/8.
Don't think I have a Popeyes around here, unfortunately.
But they turned that into a big nachos dish, except no nachos, just the potato things. It's
that sounds
really
good.
fucking good.
That does sound good.
So I tried one for the first time today, and I love it.
Yeah, that sounds tasty. Gonna get me hungry.
Well, I'm only allowed to have fast food once a month.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Why? Because it's bad for you.
I remember my grandfather would be like, when I was young, literally be like, do you like KFC? Like, yeah, I like the KFC. And take me down to KFC and buy 2 grocery bags full of KFC.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he grew up. The thing is, he grew up where he had actually he went through starvation. He was, so he that left. Both my grandparents went through that. So he was always worried about his grandkids and his kids going hungry. So whenever he make any food or buy any food, it was always in huge amounts.
Yeah. Were the grandparents like the Great Depression age, or
Yeah, I think so.
how old would they be right now?
Almost 100, if they were still alive.
Oh, okay, then they're very likely in the Great Depression time.
Yeah. See, I think my grandfather actually fought in World War II.
Yeah, so did my daddy.
He lied about his age too to get into the military. He was in the Navy.
My grandpa Morgan was too young to be led into World War One. Even though he tried, and he was too old to be led into World War II. Lucky guy. I don't get these people who are all enthusiastic about going to war.
Yeah. Okay, so it was 2015 my grandmother died. So I think she was 91 when she died.
That's right up there.
So almost 10. So yeah, that'd be 100.
My grandma and grandpa Morgan, our namesake, both lived till 80s. 80. I think grandpa was 86, and grandma was about the same when they passed. I don't know, because I wasn't allowed to go to their funeral because I was disowned by them because I'm a pervert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that awful? It's. Geez, Grandma, I never did anything terrible to you. Well, I did buy you that book about hypochondria, but I don't even know if you read it. She did not appreciate that, I was told.
Well, did she wash her hands before she touched it?
No. She wasn't a germaphobe. She was hypochondriacal. She was always sick with something. When it was always something like, my head, I have a headache. Great, Grandma. I'm glad you're feeling okay. But I don't know. That was just her attention-seeking behavior. I loved her anyways. Who cares?
There she was.
Okay, now we can leave.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Oh, actually, we still got a bunch of topics next here we can cover. We've got the dismembered kid. We've got the kid in the closet. We've got the woman who lived with her dead parents. Lovely topics today.
We could talk about the guy who turned into a bathtub full of soup.
Yeah.
An immersion heater.
I'm not sure if that would really fall into a true crime, though.
No, what the crime was that they let it cook too long, and it turned out to be terrible soup. I'm sorry.
It's all right. This is a true crime episode.
Yep.
It's like, that's where dark topics.
Yes, we got dark topics.
That one was actually directly from Rotten.com.
Yeah, I've seen the picture.
Yeah. Ugh.
They went to pull him out of the bathtub, and all they got was a bone that just slipped. All the meat and stuff slipped right off of it.
Well, at that point, you might as well toss them to the dogs. What are you going to bury? A soup bone?
Pour him.
I'm sorry, I'm so callous today.
Pour him to a jar and bury that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. The day has been a day of morbid topics. The best viewed video ever for me on Twitter was a song about Russians receiving their body bags with people dancing up and down in body bags.
That's pretty strange.
I tried putting it on YouTube and my 2 people unsubbed because it was so morbid, I guess.
Oh, YouTube's got their head up their ass. Well, all these things do. I know a guy who is a science guy, and he has been doing science-based YouTube things out of his home laboratory for years and years and years. Well, they gave him a temporary suspension and yanked one of his videos because it was just not acceptable community standards wise, because it was violent and featured death. What the guy had realized is that he needed to do a demonstration and share it with everybody. That fruit flies are so small, they fly in between the microwaves and are virtually immune to it when you put them in there and fire it up. And so he showed that no flies died, but just the act of him doing that and doing the experiment, they banned him for a week or so, 2 weeks, something like that, and pulled the video down. It was like a 2-3 minute video.
Fruit flies.
Uh-huh.
In a microwave.
I would have figured it would have killed him.
I'm sorry, say again?
I would have figured that would have killed him.
Yeah, I would have thought that too, but it didn't.
Interesting.
So you're saying I can't show YouTube the bottom of my freezer?
I guess not.
I have no idea how they got in there, but there's a handful of fruit flies that got frozen.
Yeah, who got in there?
Yeah, I have to vacuum out the fruit flies out of my freezer and refrigerator on the regular.
Really, I thought
I'm
I was
Purple.
the only person
I
that
did
had that
respond to the. I did respond to the message.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Heathen Granny 666
Hello.
and Celestia. And yeah, I am going through videos of the annoying false prophets to make fun of them. But it's also depressing because even though they are making asses of themselves, they're getting too haughty right now.
Okay, well, I missed the beginning, so I don't know it. I don't know if you guys gave the proper disclaimer.
Oh yeah, I definitely said we're definitely getting into adult topics today. And I went over what the day is. And we just said hi to everybody, and we talked about the tacos.
Also, that this is not a how-to show. Any crimes you may learn to commit as a result of this show are not the responsibility of this channel, and neither the channel nor its employees are liable for any crimes you may commit as a result of this.
That means if you done fuck up, you're responsible for your own fuck up.
Yeah, we're not paying your legal fees.
Well, here's a couple people that are new to me in here. Oh, let me see. I'm paging through and making sure. Uh, tw- mhm. Tori Swasinger, Swansinger. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm sorry. Tilting with Windows. So we got Don Quixote is here. And Molly, of course, we know Molly already. And look at the.
I've got Molly on my foot.
So you're completely mollified.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tori and
Tilting Windows is new.
Tilting Windows is somebody I've seen on other channel chats. So
Hello. If I missed you.
Look
we
at
interacted
the
to that extent.
look at the tea. I agree. Popeyes is superior chicken. I love Popeyes beans and rice. That is just deadly. I love it. And Tori. Oh, I mentioned Tori already. She's got red hair. I hate her already. Unless you can swap hair with me.
Well, you're supposed to be nice, but yeah, there are several dozen women that I've seen on YouTube that I've had that response to. Not that I'm a thing about redheads. For me, it's the long dark hair, especially the long black hair, that I really love.
I like any shade of red hair. I especially like the Auburn stuff, but any shade is gorgeous to me. I yelled at my mom when I was a kid because I didn't have red hair, and I asked her, "Why didn't you do it with the plumber?"
Red hair.
She just told me to not talk that way. Don't talk that way. Okay, Mom.
What she meant, she did do it with the plumber, but the male one was the one who hit the target.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe the plumber used the drain clean. Oh no, I'm not. No, don't say that. It would be a bad thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in my 40 years of being a home handyman, that situation never occurred for me. Then again, I'm oblivious to flirting. So for all I know, it may have happened dozens of times, and I was unaware of it. By the way, you all owe Sammy's son some really good treats because you made him get off of me.
Ethan, I keep wanting to call you Heather because my mind just doesn't work very well.
My dyslexia works like that a lot. That instead of getting the right word, my brain will just replace it with a word that, is spelled or sounds similar, but is a completely different thing. Instead of hypotenuse, I'll say hippopotamus.
That's called dyslexia.
Yep.
I just always thought Heather was a very pretty name. I liked it. I almost chose it for myself.
It is.
I decided I was too ugly to be a Heather. Look at that cute little doggy.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Snow puppy.
I saw this adorable video on TikTok. God almighty. Guy's in some kind of chase lounge on his patio deck, and often just as you can see that he has a chocolate lab and a blonde or yellow lab, and they're coming up from the yard, and you can just tell that they're happy and been having fun. They just have that look in their eyes. If you own a dog, you know what that is. Mm-hmm. And they come up to him, and on the little table next to him, as dogs will do, they gave him a little gift. And the yellow lab opens its mouth and shakes out and drops a stick on the tabletop. Stick was maybe 3.5 inches,
I was trying.
about an eighth of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, or a quarter of an inch thick. Okay, this little itty bitty stick. And when the owner went to pick it up, the dogs got absolutely excited, like they do when you say, throw the stick. It's like, you guys, this is not a
puppies
stick.
love sticks.
Oh, and they just look so happy and excited. Oh, let's play. I love this.
Oh, what fun!
Say it one more time.
There it is.
I was the one who posted it.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, I knew I had seen
yeah,
that.
that's right. It was. Look at that blonde one.
Yeah, just jumping up and down.
Watch it again.
Yes.
Yeah, that stick's not going to go very far when he throws it, though.
Yep.
Wait, that back.
Dogs are such wonderful creatures.
So did
Dang it, what happened?
this one too?
Go back, please. Ouch! That fucking hurts.
What the hell is that in its mouth?
Can I Jesus Christ. Can I
Did
have
you
my
say
ragoons, please?
The Ragoons.
Oh Lord. I just want my ragoons.
No, as my FUD, I killed it.
Can I
What is it?
The bag of Ragoons.
can I have
Ragoons. What the hell's that?
Penelope? Little shake of me. Give me my crab ragoons. Oh my god.
It's like a
Here.
like an egg wrapper roll. That's like
Okay,
stuff with-
okay. Actual crab
Oh,
ragoons.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening right now. She actually should have just eaten
The
an
kitten
Oreo.
wants the food.
Oh, my unfinished journey. There's somebody we haven't seen in a long time.
Who? What?
Hi, Tori.
Hello.
Oh, so you
My
guys know Tori.
unfinished journey is someone
My
we haven't seen
unfinished
on
journey.
YouTube in a very
So
long
it's just
time.
me who doesn't know Tori. I wonder if she's notorious.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be here or not, but the whole getting my tooth fixed went well, so I'm doing good.
That's okay. I'm not sure if I'm here or not now.
Yeah.
Well, I know I'm here, or else I'd be somewhere else.
Well, I didn't get to sleep until like 9:30 this morning, so I think there's a very good chance I'm still asleep and just streaming this.
Yeah.
You
No,
mean we're sharing a dream with you?
The bouncer checked you at the door. You're awake.
Yeah, no, Commander. It means that you're a figment of my imagination right now. Just like an Australian.
So we can't be figments of your imagination.
Well-
You're figments of my imagination.
Next month, if everything goes well, I will be in Australia. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm going to a place that doesn't exist.
Yep.
So says the flat earthers anyway.
And don't you love what's going on with the flat earthers the last few days? With the
I
final
haven't-
experiment.
I haven't kept up with what are they doing now.
Oh, the final experiment. Let Commander explain it. I think
There's
that
a
she's
guy.
more up on
I
it.
haven't
guy
been
by the name of
monitoring
Twi-
it.
Okay, I'll be quiet. Go ahead, tell it.
I haven't been monitoring it, but from what I understand, it's just the usual shit. And make stuff up. And I mean, even the ones who were there, I haven't been paying attention to it every day.
Well, I
But-
think Ray's just saying he doesn't even know what the final experiment was.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
The
You're
final experiment.
They're,
Yeah,
they're
called
going
that
to
because
Jenny
I'm
go.
speaking. God, I hate being talked over. The final experiment, which I brought up to begin with, is this little game that the Globers are playing with the flat earthers. And a guy who seems to be very well off by the name of Will, was it Will Duffy? Something like that.
yes.
Made the offer that he will take X number of flat earthers and X number of Globers down to Antarctica this time of year, which is their summer solstice, to observe the sun going around you 360 degrees and never setting for a few days in a row. And the reason it's significant is because based on the flat earth map that they always use, and Antarctica is not a continent, but it's this big ring around the edge of this platter that's the earth, and it keeps all the water in, you know.
Mhm.
How convenient.
Yeah, basically that couldn't happen.
But if you look at their map, north pole is right in the center, okay, which is fine. But there is no south pole because it's flat. And so therefore there is no pathway that they can try to bullshit about, which the sun can do what it's going to do and show up as a circle over Antarctica for an entire several days. Okay, that just can't it just cannot happen. And so that's why it's called the final experiment, because once there's witnesses who have seen that and say, yeah, it did go around 360 degrees, and they filmed it. I mean, there's like 10, 15 cameras out there shooting it. It's the end of flat Earth. You cannot deny that this happened. You guys observed it yourself. You recorded it yourself, and now you're going to tell stories about it? I don't think so.
They're what Nikon P90s what they use?
I don't know.
P900.
I don't think so. There appeared to be a fairly sophisticated cameras there, video and still.
Well,
the
there's your problem.
flatties.
Well, there's your problem right there. They're not using the Nikon P900, and they can dismiss it then.
Well, Jaron, and if you don't know who Jaron is, he's like one of the early adopter flat earthers, and he's got this big show where he shills the fuck out of flat earth and makes a bunch of money. It's probably been supporting him for the last few years. And he was down there and he had to say it absolutely went around us 24 hours, all up, no setting. It's real. But the people who are hearing it, you know, and because we have our communications that we do today, they're able to send all this live and all this kind of good stuff. So it's really hard to be wiggling out of this. But they're trying. They're trying. The latest is that Will Duffy brought down a artificial sun.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And so that's up for 8 to 10 hours a day, and just all this just ridiculous bullshit, of course.
Well, you know, everybody has an artificial sun just laying around.
Yeah.
So easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing the most about, was that NASA had built all these solar simulators.
Well, you see, there are solar simulators. That's a real thing. Except they're used in product R&D to see how you can artificially age a product to test how it's going to last in the long run.
Yeah, but they only like light up a room. They don't light up thousands of miles.
Exactly.
Well, obviously,
And they're heavy UV.
Well, obviously, it was the sun stand and from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Yeah, that must be it.
So here's how the final experiment will go. The flatties will see the evidence. They will pull a giant turd out of their backside, sniff it, and say, "Here is the answer." And then whatever that turd is, they will go with it because the grift must continue.
Very likely. They're just some of the most unethical people on the planet. And one of my favorite things about flat earthers is when you poll them and get to know them, every fucking one of them is a Republican. And they all hate trans people.
Yeah,
It's kind of
well,
like admission to the club.
unfortunately, people who were already prone to the conspiracy mindset were the big backers of Trump.
Oh yeah. But
Because
this
it's
goes
the
back
only
to
way that they
2016.
could
They were with
dismiss
him.
all the obvious facts of what a horrible person he was to still vote for him.
Facts? You think there's facts involved in this?
That's what I mean. You need people who were
There's
able
hatred.
to completely ignore all the facts of his first term to vote for him again.
Well, they just make up the facts for it in the first term.
Well, alternate facts.
Yes. Better known as lies, but okay. So we got this true crime story. A woman who murdered her parents and hid the secret for 4 years. Let's see if this is going to play the clip of them. Wait, yeah, this is a raid. This is where they busted her.
Stay where you are! Stay where you are, show your hands.
Yep.
The time is 12:12. You're under arrest on suspicion of murder.
I need to tell you something about what's upstairs on the top floor as well.
Yes, fine.
Yeah, okay.
My dad's body's in there.
Right, okay.
Yep, okay. Obviously, I'll
Where about
say,
your mum?
a little bit more complicated.
Where will we find your mum?
Well, possible.
Where will we find your mum?
Okay, so upstairs there are about 5 wardrobes.
Yep.
It's behind the bed, but back next to the sink. He didn't drink all of them. He only drank probably about half of 2. But yeah, when I went in the morning, this was before my mother, came in and he was gone. I did know that this would kind of come eventually. It's proper that I serve my punishment. Cheer up, at least you caught the bad guy. I mean, I deserve to obviously get whatever's coming sentence-wise.
Strangely calm about this.
What's going on?
And that might give me a bit of peace.
Can you guys hear that?
No.
No? Oh, you can't hear
Yep.
this?
No, it's too tiny and it's too quiet.
It's in the middle underneath the stairs. It will still have blood on it. It's rusted, but it will still have blood traces on it.
She was coldly describing where her loved one was.
That was
And it was
her parents.
bloody.
Her parents, yes. She basically stabbed her mother with a knife and killed them, and she carried on and getting the money from the Social Security checks and all that. But when her father didn't show up for much needed medical visits, it's renew the medications, and he wasn't picking up the medications. Then they called in a missing persons, which quickly turned into a possible murder case, and that's how she ended up getting busted. And she had lived with the 2 dead bodies for 4 years, just collecting on the money.
Does it mention at
And
all how
that's
she
horrible.
preserved them?
Oh, she didn't preserve them. She just stuck them in. She just hid them away.
How'd she keep him from stinking up to the point that the neighbors didn't call? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, she said
What's
she put her
his
mom in a
stink?
wardrobe, so it was probably, lined with cedar, and that's the smell.
Mm.
I don't think that would work.
Well, she doesn't look like a lunatic.
Well, that's part of her being so calm about it. She said, I knew this was coming eventually.
Did she actually say that?
Yeah.
Looks like she covered them with blankets and stuff. So that may have how she wrapped them may have acted as insulation.
Well, at least she didn't put them in a plastic bag and have them like rot and liquefy.
Well, Beak, you must have wrapped them in plastic because, like, there's this building in Fallout New Vegas, which is an homage to the old, an old building by the programmers, and it's famous because there was just a dead rat in the wall, and they said the entire building smelled. So I don't know how you keep a dead human body concealed like that. The rat in the wall.
I think I might be dealing with that with something in my house here. I've been having this odd smell in the hallway. I can't seem to identify where it's coming from.
Yeah, do you remember which wall you put this rat into?
Is there a chance that Molly, like picked up a mouse while you were walking and you didn't notice and she brought it home?
Oh, I've been looking all around. I can't seem to find where the damn smell's coming from. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been cleaning too, just thinking, maybe there's something on the floor.
Well, leave a snack of some sort right in the middle of the kitchen floor and see if you come back the next morning and find little rat or mousy poops.
Oh, that's not going to do anything. Milo would eat it.
Well, restrict her.
I can't restrict her from the kitchen. But no, it would be a dead rat or mouse. So I don't think it's going to be going around eating, unless it's a zombie.
Do we need to check if Mage has any missing relatives or neighbors lately?
No, we don't need to do that.
That's okay. If they were megas, I won't say anything.
There's nothing missing. Mage knows exactly where he left him.
Well, there you go. Okay, so we're fine.
Hey, man, I'm running out of room. No.
Oh, hey, Ember. Ember says
Hello.
Patchouli is engineered to mask death smell.
Oh, jeez, L. Okay. He really is such a geeky little bastard.
Are you sure about that? I mean, is there enough room with his head there?
Wait a minute. Are you
mean
saying,
Moscow, Mike?
Are you saying that Mike Johnson is actually was brought here by Rick from the dimension that people have hamsters living in their buttholes?
He looks like it's a hamster living in his ass.
It was a gerbil.
Oh, maybe that's a new skit you can do for your channel, Commander.
I need to get that clip from South Park where Mr. Slave is shoving a gerbil up Mr. Garrison's ass, or what was it?
Yeah.
And the WikiLeaks.
Yeah, I know the episode.
Lemmy Winks.
Yeah.
Well, if your WikiLeaks, you better get it plugged up.
So,
And Julian Assange still belongs in prison.
Yep.
Julian Assange?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No.
Lemmy Winks.
Here's go. Let's get off the Putin puppet bullshit.
Yep.
And on to who abused kids. So which one would you like next? The girl who lived in the closet for 5 years, or the one who got dismembered?
Oh, let's do them both.
Yeah, I'm saying which one would you want first?
Hey. There are people here who have lived in the closet for up to 50 years, so.
Not like this one.
Well, let's do the closet one second.
Closet one second, huh? So we have this story. The 10-year-old girl who killed in gruesome murder, her mother arrested. This involves some SA, quite a bit of it actually. But short story of this is that on her 10th birthday, the mother who had what was it, the boyfriend or uncle was it? I think it was a boy. Yeah, it was a boyfriend and the boyfriend's cousin, and take her and essayed the kid. While the mother watched, because apparently that's what the mother got off to.
Damn.
And
this sick bastard.
Not the first time that she was assaulted, but in this particular case, the boyfriend ended up strangling the kid during the essaying and choked her to death. They began to panic. Apparently, there was some reports of hearing some screaming early on. They had drugged her and beforehand to try and settle her down during the assault, and apparently they panicked and they tried to. So they dismembered the body and tried to put him into a garbage can. Well, after a response to a 911 call, the police entered the second-story apartment building where the assault took place, and they found smoke coming from behind in the closet bathroom door. Apparently, they were trying to get rid of the body by wrapping the body up in a rug, and were trying to burn it in the bathtub.
Oh my God!
And that's when the police found. And that's when the police found them. This dismembered body, half burned, and then it was a blanket, and they wrapped in, and everybody there got arrested.
Yeah,
and how do you even attempt to burn something indoors like that?
Everybody was on drugs and panicking.
If you're stupid enough to do something like murder someone, it's pretty much an open policy that you're going to do something else weird.
Well, it would have been second-degree murder actually, because they weren't intentionally trying to kill the girl. They were just trying to assault her sexually. But she did have a younger brother as well. I didn't really hear anything as to whether the younger brother was also sexually assaulted during the all this time. But he is now living with the father, so he's all good.
And they call trans people dangerous.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, none of these people involved were trans.
Well, I'm certain they weren't. Yeah, they've already tried to blame trans people for that Wisconsin shooting.
But this girl, this girl was named Victoria Martins. That's who the girl's name is. What we saw on the screen there. And she was 10 years old on her birthday.
Oh, hey, Beck.
Hello.
If you want to join in, just tell me where to drop your link.
Beck. Hey, Beck.
Okay, and Ember is saying second-degree murder is intentional but not premeditated. So it just means they didn't plan it out ahead of time.
So it'd be the third degree then. Okay. Where they kill somebody unintentionally.
Unintentional is manslaughter. But
okay.
Oh shit. God damn it.
Yeah, I have had. Sorry. I guess Jenny spilled her coffee on herself or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see how somebody could live with a body, because I have had the experience of finding out what one smells like. That 1 year after Con of the North, we were bringing stuff back to my apartment, and the coroner's van was there, and we had to hold our breath running up. It was a third floor walk up. We had to hold our breath running up the stairs because the apartment closest to the front door is where the coroner was. That apparently this guy had died on Thursday night, and nobody found him until his daughter went to check on him Sunday night.
A similar thing happened to my neighbor next door. She was staying with her son was staying there, and he wanted to be with her when she died, because she didn't have much longer to live. The one weekend he left was when she died. So she was left in her chair for the entire weekend. And we tried to get, when they were putting her in the bag, the asshole boyfriend that my mom was dating at the time was helping out, since he had some paramedic expertise. And they stuck her in the body bag. It was got to hold her down. Once they got the body bag zipped up, she sat back up because of the rigor mortis.
Yeah, well, when you talk about a dead body, people just think it's going to smell like rotting meat, but they don't take into account all the gases that are produced when it's decomposing.
Yeah, they left the window open. They left the window open, and the air helped air out the area, because it was, the whole room stunk, and being right next door, I could smell it whenever I went by that area.
Yeah.
And
Well, I did a dumb thing. Went all this way and took all this trouble to go get these medications, and I left them in my friend's glove box.
I hope there's nothing that would have been damaged by freezing.
Oh, no, that won't be a problem.
Okay.
I just kind of need them.
No, all three suspects in that Victoria and Martin's thing had a 1 million bond on them.
Okay. Unfinished Journey is asking.
Too low.
Yep. Jenny, Unfinished Journey is asking if you appeared on the Rebecca Davis Spread of Life channel a year or so ago.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I know you appear on so many different channels that I cannot really say.
What? I'm not sure. I can't answer a positive or negative. Why? Why asketh thou?
I think they're just trying to place who you are.
Oh, well, I'm just this psychotic person who hangs out in Minnesota. You saw Fargo? It was my wood chipper.
Yeah, well, and again, to dispel a popular myth, Fargo is not in Minnesota. That's North Dakota.
I know. But you don't say.
Although a lot of the stuff did occur in Minnesota, because it's like Fargo's just across the border, so.
Just across the Red River.
I wonder why there's.
Ember, if you want to come in and tell that story, you're welcome to, but it sounds very personal, so, it's up to you if you're comfortable with that.
I wonder why there's never been a Nag's Head killer. Nags Head is a place just south of the Virginia border in North Carolina, and it's literally called Nags Head. So I'm just wondering why I never heard of anything that would have helped the place live up to it.
Oh, and there's a picture of the mother right during the, I guess that's her mugshot.
Why? She's certainly an inviting-looking person.
She's looked better. I've seen other pictures of her. But apparently she was finding guys on dating sites to come and essay her kid. I'm not exactly sure what kind of profile you use for that, but
She's a piece of shit.
She's inviting people over to attack her daughter.
yeah, like I said, that's what she got off to, watching her daughter get assaulted.
God, I just.
And it just went way too far, and the daughter ended up dying this one time.
Well,
This next one might even be worse.
Well, it's all speculation, but there seems to be a lot pointing to that's what happened in the John Benet Ramsey case too.
Mm. This is the story of Lauren Kavanaugh, who at 3 years old went back to her I believe it was biological mother's custody. She was adopted out early on, and because of some clerical error or some oversight, the adoption wasn't fixed. So the biological mother was able to take custody back. During which time, the girl lived in a lice-infested, urine-stained closet, which was about 4 feet by 9 feet, and she was only taken out to be sadistically abused by the mother and her stepfather. And this went on for 5 years. And they apparently brought in other people to essay the girl. There were reports of her having fears of a guy with a clown mask. Apparently, one of the people who repeatedly he came over to have to do new stuff with this kid, it wore a clown mask during the time. So that was a nice little bit of trauma. There were other kids in the house as well who knew of the girl in the closet, but they weren't able to do anything about it. She only weighed, at 8 years old, she only weighed 25 pounds. So when the police finally found her, they didn't realize it was the girl they were looking for, because she looked like she was only very much younger than she actually was. She had to go and have multiple reconstructive surgeries because her vaginal and anal openings had become just one because of all the assaults.
God. Well, I repeat what I said earlier, and they call trans people sick. Jeez.
Yeah. I am very sorry to everyone. I am deeply regretting that I picked this topic. The original idea was that we were going to be able to get Claire in here as a guest, but that was my fault for not being up in time. Because Claire is, on her channel, she does a lot of the true crime stuff.
Well, this girl grew up, and she ended up assaulting another girl, but the charges had been dropped because because of her past history, she was not fit for her trial, and they decided to end up ultimately dropping the charges on her because she just was not able to, she was not mentally fit for trial.
So
But that's her older. So that's all I got for.
Oh, damn it. I'm not logged in. I'll be right back.
Hospital somewhere?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, when it starts when they're that young, of course, they grow up thinking it's normal. And that's the horrible
Yeah.
part.
Well, she had no understanding of, what appropriate was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That, like I say, she grew up thinking that was normal.
But
That was just how people related.
But good news is, after she was taken by the police, she was brought back to the foster parents, and it's where they corrected the clerical error, and she was properly adopted out and had a fairly loving family from there on out.
That's good.
Okay,
Hey, Beck.
I'm here. Really, I'm here.
Back.
She was just mentally and
Long time.
emotionally traumatized for the rest of her life, and
Yeah.
her brain was actually atrophied because of the neglect and abuse.
Well, yeah, and
Lovely.
again, when she was that young, if that was the only stimulation she had, her brain wasn't enabled to develop in normal ways.
Yeah, she didn't have the proper nutrients or care that she needed to
Yeah.
develop correctly.
Well, and also just, never developed the sense that this was wrong.
Yeah.
Also, no one to interact with healthfully, and no kids to play with, no anything but a fucking closet they should throw on the parents in the same place that Trump and Peyton deserve to go.
Yeah, it's like I hear things like this and I kind of wish hell was real.
Yeah. Well, if there's a hell, they're definitely going there.
Well, this is a depressing topic.
Yeah, I was just apologizing for doing this, but like I said, I was planning to have Claire in here because her channel does all the true crime stuff.
And you were expecting them to have upbeat, neat topics?
What topics? What?
Expecting Claire to have upbeat,
Upbeat.
true crime story?
Well, I figured at least Claire would bring in some of the court cases of, how these people were convicted.
Trees, it's overrated. I don't suggest anybody do it.
Well, nice to see you. Beck, haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, Mage. How you doing?
Well, I just got a cavity filled, so I got that fixed. That's good.
Good for you.
Filled
I just
with
got
what?
my driver's license in my new state.
Yay!
So that's good.
Where are you now?
Not telling online. I will tell
okay.
you separately.
Okay.
Okay, do you just move to a different state every 2 years or so?
No, I moved to a different state because I got sick of having anxiety attacks every time a door closed out front because I thought it was asshole.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
So I just got sick of it and I just left and moved 22 hours away.
Yeah,
Well,
so at least for you, you just, hitch up your home and drive it with you, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what I did. I freaking hooked that shit up and it was horrible. I was shaking like a leaf the whole time I was doing it because I was afraid he was going to show up while I was leaving.
Though, unfortunately, my AC, the furnace in my AC went kablooey. And I think there might be a dead animal in there someplace because there's a strange smell in the hallway. I can't seem to identify where it's coming from.
Well, and that could be why your furnace went out if you,
Yeah, so I'm thinking it might be, if I open the thing up, if it gets opened up, there might be a dead animal in there.
Yeah, well, it could be something like a mouse chewed on the wirings and got themselves electrocuted.
Trees, I say with those parents, if you're talking about the parents of that girl, hell with a rock, I say tie them up and, cut them and let them slowly bleed out. Lots of pain. That's what I say. But don't ask me, I'm an asshole. I don't have any compassion for horrible people.
Yeah, I'm less concerned with the torture than I am with just removing them from the human society.
Oh no, I think people should be tortured. Anybody that tortures somebody, I think they should be tortured on their way out.
Yeah,
Eye for an eye and all that. The Bible says it. Why not?
I'm not saying I would stop you from doing it. I'm just saying I probably don't have the stomach to do it myself.
Oh, yeah. That's my dream, is to tie up my childhood abusers and torture them for 2 days. Oh my God, I'd love to do that.
I'm just very pragmatic, and I just want to get it over with.
It's kind of,
oh yeah, no, not me.
It's kind of like my dad's idea of how to handle little rapists. You take the rape victim, you take the rapist, you tie the rapist to a chair or whatnot. You put the victim in there, close the door, you just ignore it for maybe about an hour. Whatever happens.
Well, I don't want to do that to the victims, because a lot of them can't face their rapists. But I would love their brothers or uncle or someone that, a pissed off aunt, anybody that really cares about them, to be able to go in there and beat the shit out of the people. I don't think they need an hour. I think 10 minutes is plenty.
Well, if people are sent to prison for doing vile things to children, they have a very short life expectancy in federal prisons.
Oh, yeah.
And oddly enough, it seems to always happen when the cameras are malfunctioning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at Epstein. Suicide my ass.
Yeah.
Everybody knows somebody off that dude. Spooky.
Yeah, because there are too many people who are in there who are really pissed off that they can't see their kids.
Yeah, and some of them are in there for some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of them in there are in there for drug charges, so they don't get to be there for their kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you do not want to be in prison for assaulting a kid.
Nope. Not from what I've heard. I've heard it's the wrong place to go.
Yeah, they don't take kindly. Even in those hardened criminals, they don't take kindly to that.
Well, they have all those people in one section, so the other people don't kill them.
Yeah, but it's surprising how often the guards make mistakes and put them in with the general population for a day.
Right. Or, oops, I just turned my back and your cell door was open.
Yep.
Right.
Well, don't worry about it. Sometime in the next year or so, I'm sure Trump will remove any stigma about beating people up in custody, and whether it's jail or a mental facility. That's the kind of guy he is.
Speaking about somebody who apparently he assaulted kids.
Hi, Spooky.
There was, I believe, Epstein talking about how he was best friends with Trump, and apparently were pictures of underage girls sitting on Trump's lap.
Okay.
Well, hell, his daughter did that more than once, and it wasn't like a father-daughter photo. So,
yeah.
Well, apparently these are other sorts of photos with Epstein parties.
Okay, I need to ask, since we are so horrible on the show about staying on topic, why is it that when we got a horrible topic, we stayed on topic for well over an hour?
I had a lot of stuff pulled up, and I happened to follow true crimes.
Yeah, so of
and
course
you weren't here for the first 15
minutes. Of course, it's Mage's fault for preparing ahead of time, which is why I never do that.
Well, actually, that's a good topic in itself. Why are we so attracted to this shit?
Yeah. Yeah, it is strange that, people have this fascination with these cases. And I mean, it's obviously widespread because there are so many TV shows about it.
Well, I can tell you, I started looking into sexual assaults of children because my mom had been sexually assaulted when she was young, and it got me curious about the subject. And I found news reports to be not very well done, and for understanding this, the motives and all that.
Yeah, my late fiance was also assaulted by her mother's boyfriend from the time she was 10 years old.
So I've spent almost my entire time I've been on, had internet access, as researching the subject. It's not what you may think.
Hey, Commander.
You guys, I've got to go. I am just not feeling well.
Okay.
Aw.
Is this being too intense for you?
I hope we didn't. If we can change.
No.
Oh, okay.
My stomach is telling me it wants to come outside.
Oh,
Well,
okay. Well, yeah, check in with us later. We're going to be concerned about you feeling better.
and keep in mind, I do have the midnight meat party tomorrow. If you're feeling better.
Okay.
If not, I can do a recap for you.
All right. Thanks.
Bye, Miss Jenny. Feel better.
Good night, chat. Sorry. Good to see you again, Beck. I miss you.
I'm glad it wasn't it wasn't me.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, honey.
Hello, Spooky.
I know this is an intense
Bye.
topic. Hello.
Hey, Spooky.
Don't you know that horrible shit always gets people's attention more than good
Well,
shit? Purple, that's all it is.
Yeah, unfortunately.
If it leads, it bleeds.
It's a
If
train
it
wreck
bleeds,
thing.
it leads.
Yeah, it's a train wreck thing. You can't look away.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of train wreck thing, I almost missed my appointment Monday.
What appointment?
Well, it's just one of my regular appointments, and
Oh.
but I was driving up there, and the signals were flashing. There was a train on the tracks. Nothing unusual about that. The unusual part is that the train was stopped and surrounded by fire trucks. So
Wow.
it wasn't moving anywhere. And I had to take a long detour to the highway where the road goes under the train. I still don't know what that's about, but very disturbing.
I can get more disturbing.
Well, I mean, you don't want. There were several tanker cars right where it was on the crossing, and you don't like the idea of a full tanker car on a train exploding. That could take out the whole neighborhood.
Yeah. Hello.
And
Is it
depending
Kyle?
upon what it's full of, it can be even worse. Hi, Cosmic Kyle.
Cosmic Kyle, who's that guy?
Well, I had some reassurance of it that they were black tanker cars, and I had learned many years ago that the black tankers were actually food grade material. That most of those were full of corn syrup going to General Mills.
Mm.
And
call that
we
food.
we have trains that go by here that are 40 tanker cars long, several times a week. That's how much high fructose corn syrup General Mills is using in their product.
Damn. No wonder I have cavities.
We were talking about detours, right? You just reminded me of there's this one town I used to when I worked for a certain carrier. The first and only time I was there, the only bridge you had to go under was labeled 12 feet. And it was the only way to that place. But they had dug it out, but they never changed the label. So I wound up going around in circles until basically I said, fuck it, and tried it and wound up not destroying the track.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel called 11-foot-8 Bridge, which is just showing how many people don't pay attention to the signs, and rip the top off of trucks.
Yep. Fun stuff.
And my brother was an over-the-road trucker, so, I wound up on the road with him hearing some of these stories. And actually, the best one I heard was that, there was a bridge that was, it was clearly labeled at 12 foot something. And that the guy coming up to it went through, very slowly, just inch by inch to see if he heard anything scrape because he wasn't quite sure. And he made it just fine. And he got to his warehouse and he unloaded his trailer. And since he had made it just fine, didn't think about it coming back, and hit that same bridge doing 50 miles an hour, not
Oh.
realizing that having removed a few tons of cargo from his trailer, the suspension was now sitting up an inch and a half higher.
Well, that's a
Peeled the
bad
top
truck
of the
driver.
truck back like a sardine can.
Yeah, that's a bad truck driver. you gotta keep that stuff in
I
mind.
only went under that bridge. I only went under that bridge after my dispatcher gave me the assurance that I wouldn't be shitgunned if something happened.
Yeah.
Yep, I've been there before. Yep. Like, you sure you want me to do this? Yes, okay.
Can I get that in writing?
Yeah, hey,
right?
even when I've had to drive a big U-Haul, I have been ultra aware of anything hanging overhead.
I've had the safety lady text stuff to me before just so I had it in writing.
I need to get back in a driving position. I have been doing yard jockey for the last 7-8 months, and if I don't get into a driving position soon, no one will hire me for it.
Yeah, because you got to have so much over the road time in 3 years, and yeah, I know. Although that is considered still a CDLA position, so that shouldn't hurt you.
It's NFI considers it non-commercial, but I guess I'm still in like a truck, and the muscle memory is still there, and most of the accidents in trucks are backing up and maneuvering
yeah.
in tight quarters.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
I still don't know how to steer a trailer backing up.
It
I
takes
know in
time.
theory how it's supposed to work, but I can never get it right when I'm doing it.
Well, the best thing to do is if you have a trailer behind you, the best thing to do is put your hand on the bottom of the wheel instead of the top of the steering wheel, and whichever way you need to go, turn the wheel that way. Because
Okay,
when
I'll
you put
keep
your
that
hand
in
on
mind
top,
if
it's
I run into
opposite.
that again.
Yeah, like if you're ever backing up a trailer, just put your hand on the bottom of the wheel and steer from the bottom, because it'll be the direction you want the trailer to go in. Instead of when you have your hand on top of the wheel, it's the opposite. Good trick. It's kind of like a remote control for a game for a game where it's inverted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the backing up, and just
when
I still have a big problem with the whole thing of the mirrors reversing things when I'm trying to work on my own face.
Oh yeah, that doesn't bother me. Well, none of that bothers me. I learned how to drive like pretty quickly.
Well, like plucking hairs out of my face. I don't even bother with a mirror. I find it's easier for me to just do it by feel than to try and look at it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what you're used to anyway, so.
You know what the fun thing is, though, Commander, now that you've done yard jockey work for that long, and now because you're probably 3 times faster backing up than when you started. And now that you've done that, you can go into the truck stops and you can back up into those spots that nobody wants because it's too tight, or there's a long truck in front of it or something and nobody wants to try it. Because that's what I used to do. I'd go and fucking back into those hard ass spots in the truck stop nobody wanted. And just to show them I could.
Let's hope that I can actually get back in a truck and someone will hire me. What I am going to do is when I go see Mippet, we're going to see if Trump gets horrible enough that they'll let me seek asylum.
Hey, what state are you in right now? Are you in Virginia?
New York.
You're in New York right now. Okay.
But I also going to go down to Virginia if they don't let me seek asylum in Oz. But I do have a sneaking suspicion Trump will be horrible enough for it.
Yeah.
Well,
anyways, I was going to say there's
here. What?
Oh, go ahead, Purple.
I just want to keep putting this out here for anyone who hasn't already heard it. But our Governor Tim Walz has declared Minnesota a sanctuary state and has promised trans people that if you can't get the medical care you need where you are, come to Minnesota and we will make sure you get it here.
Oh, I could use a Minnesota driver's license.
Well,
I
yeah,
like
don't,
getting new driver's licenses.
well, yeah, don't worry about getting an asylum in Canada. I mean, we'll just make it the 51st state.
Yeah, well, this is why I keep trying to get Canada to annex Minnesota.
Well, you know, Canada provides freaking power to Minnesota anyways, and what,
Yeah.
Wisconsin or something?
Well,
There's like
you know,
3
and
states.
Minnesota is more like New Canada than New Mexico is like Mexico. So,
Well, see,
Right.
there's about 40 million people living in Canada, so if this actually happened, which obviously won't happen, but we'd basically be looking at another state that would have equivalent number of electoral votes as California, roughly.
Yeah.
And that
Now,
would
it
almost certainly
was
be a blue state.
it was not even a week after Putin invaded Russia, and Candace Owens was talking about America needing to invade Canada and Australia. And Mitt had said, well, Candace Owens could have Australia if the dumb bitch could find it on a map.
well,
Yeah, but
Okay,
she got her.
this is where my whole thing
She-
about
She's
about
flat
getting
Earth
Canada-
curious.
I'm sorry.
You know, please continue.
You're
Okay.
blinking a little bit there, Commander, just so you know. Go ahead, Purple. Sorry.
This is where my whole thing about getting Canada to annex Minnesota started. Was that in the 1980s, a bunch of Canadian government files got declassified, and one of the things that came up in that was that the Canadian military had an established plan that if the U.S. ever made any hostile actions against them, their plan was to send a division of tanks down to St. Paul to annex Minnesota. So, they had planned this out at one point. I just want to force them to go through with it.
Right. My Unfringed Journey said they used to be a big rig driver and currently drive a bus. So, how long were you over the road? How many miles you got?
Well, I hope that you're still over the road. It would be very difficult if you were under it. We'd be back to our original topic.
Purple's so funny today.
The carrier where I did go over the road, and they did not necessarily track the numbers as far as the miles.
Oh, I was going to say to you, get a hold of not Swift Transport, not the big company, Swift Enterprises. They're in Tennessee, in eastern Tennessee, and they have all Kenworths, and they have a really good fleet. And they pull all U.S. Express trailers, so they have trailers everywhere they can use. So you never have to wait on trailers and shit. Yep.
Well, just like Barbies, how much a Ken is worth depends on the copyright date and how many were produced in that year.
Well, he's Ken enough. Oh, here's some good news.
Yeah, I used to work for these guys, Commander, and they were amazing company. The owner still has his own truck. Well, he did last time I worked there. He still had his own truck, and he still went out and drove sometimes.
So we got Governor Newsom declares emergency in California after CDC confirms severe case of bird flu in Louisiana. Apparently, there hasn't been.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no human-to-human transmission has been detected yet. In all cases were linked to exposure to infected cattle. Last week, it was reported that a California child had developed a suspected case of bird flu shortly after drinking raw milk. There we go, the raw milk thing.
Oh, yeah.
This case was detected last month, and the child has since recovered. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's one of the latest
Purple.
conspiracies now that the Republicans are pushing raw milk.
Yeah, because you know, but
They are. Well,
but just remember,
RFK is.
we'll just remember to make your raw milk safe, you heat it up, which
You mean you pasteurize it?
yeah.
Purple, I made a video about this. I made a fun video about this. Could you play it?
Sure, let's pull it. Oh, yeah, is that it there?
Yes.
No. Go play. Go.
In the grim darkness of modern America, where governance falters and sanity wanes, a shadowy figure arises to champion freedom in its most twisted form. Enter RFK Jr., the unwitting herald of Nurgle, the plague lord of Warhammer 40k fame, spreading gifts that are as dubious as they are dangerous. It begins with the most humble of blessings, raw milk. Yes, raw milk, that unpasteurized elixir of freedom, now bearing the taint of H5N1, a bird flu virus with the potential to bring pestilence on a biblical scale. Reports out of Fresno, California, tell of a dairy farm whose raw milk has been linked to this virulent strain. And who, pray tell, is a loyal patron of this farm? None other than RFK Jr. himself. A man who proclaims his crusade against big pasteurization while sipping the dubious drafts of his favorite farm. The owner of this farm, a man whose denial of H5N1's presence in his milk is as firm as a nurgling's embrace, has caught the eye of RFK Jr. Not only does Kennedy trust this dairy magnate with his milk, but he also believes this individual should shape the nation's health policy. Yes, the very same man whose product was quarantined by health officials for its viral stowaway is now poised to wield influence over the FDA. Truly, Nurgle's blessings work in mysterious ways. But RFK Jr.'s dedication to spreading health freedom doesn't stop at milk. He stands unyielding against vaccines, even as evidence piles up like the corpses of those left unprotected. Samoa, 2019, a measles outbreak devastates the island, fueled by Kennedy's anti-vaccine rhetoric. Neighboring islands, vaccinated and vigilant, watch the plague pass them by, a grim reminder of what happens when science is spurned. And now, the spectre of H5N1 looms larger. A recent paper in Science warns that a single mutation could enable this virus to jump from human to human, sparking a pandemic that would make Nurgle himself grin. Yet RFK Jr. and his allies, like the raw milk enthusiasts rallying under the banner of Make America Healthy Again, MAHA, insist there is no danger. Raw milk, they proclaim, is the path to vitality, a gift to the faithful who reject the corrupting hand of modern science. Their vision for America is a warped parody of health. Picture RFK Jr., adorned in the garb of a plague priest, chanting the virtues of raw milk while chain-chewing nicotine pouches and indulging in Big Macs. It's a carnival of contradictions, a celebration of ignorance in the name of liberty. But let us not underestimate the seriousness of the threat. As avian flu wreaks havoc on poultry farms and egg prices skyrocket, the raw milk rebellion risks becoming a vector for an even greater calamity. And now, with RFK Jr. maneuvering to install his dairy prophet as a federal policymaker, the lines between parody and apocalypse blur. In this dark timeline, where RFK Jr. dons the mantle of Nurgle's champion, the stakes have never been higher. Will we succumb to the Plague Lord's gifts, or will reason prevail before the milk sours completely? Only time, and perhaps a healthy dose of pasteurization, will tell.
So,
Okay, so RFK is going to take control of the FDA, and he's going to make pasteurizing milk illegal. So our next pandemic is going to be that only the vegans and lactose intolerant will survive.
Well, isn't it interesting how we may have Trump presiding over two pandemics?
Yes, it's
at least he didn't actually
like
cause the first
karma.
one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Commander. What?
Hey, it's like karma. So I'm just going to go over the overarching. So he winds up deciding that he is going scot-free regarding Russia. shakes Zelensky down like a mob boss, compares himself to the King of Israel and the Second Coming of God, August 21st, 2019. About a week later, the whistleblower comes out. They have a chance to jettison the asshole. They don't. On, I think it was last week in February, as all of Israel was reading the Parsha about the plagues. The WHO and the United States government announced a global health emergency. On Purim, the Dow shoots to shit by within a week or two, Trump is talking about injecting people with disinfectants, putting lights inside their bodies. The shit show ensues. And now he's about to take power again, and we're looking at a fucking nether plague. I think it's karma. Unfortunately, we all have to suffer.
Well, with this anti-vaxxer raw milk enthusiast going in to run the FDA, perhaps this might be useful information. Using a sterilized container, or heat the milk to 150 degrees Fahrenheit or 63 C for about 30 minutes. And so if the temperature drops below this point, restart the process. After this, so you can give it a nice ice bath, stirring a lot until it reaches 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 C. And there, now you've managed to make your milk safe to drink.
They're leaving out a step.
That was a condensed explanation.
Yeah, no, just you can't just bring it up to that temperature and immediately cool it.
No,
you have to maintain it at that temperature for like 10 minutes to make sure all the bacteria is dead.
He said 30 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that.
Yeah, so 30 minutes.
Or you can bring it to a higher temperature for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing a lot of people miss about just cooking meat. That as soon as the thermometer hits that temperature, they think it's okay. It's like, no, you've got to give it at least a few minutes at that temperature.
Well, it's really with cooking, it's a lot about the placement of the thermometer,
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get the thickest part of the meat where you bring the thermometer.
Right, away from the bone, all that, right?
Speaking of
Thanks,
cooking
science,
meat,
for all this knowledge.
Speaking of cooking meat, you'll never guess what happened to me again.
What'd you do?
I won another free turkey.
Holy shit! What do you have, Purple?
That's
go
awesome.
Find somebody in your complex that has like a bunch of kids and go give them the.
Yeah, I gave it to Molly because I just didn't have room in my fridge for it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about Molly. Great.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why is this happening now when I'm living alone? And it could have never happened when I was raising 3 to 5 kids.
Right. Well, I don't know. Wrong place, wrong time. I don't know.
And of course, my Molly decides to play with one of her loudest toys.
That's fine. I was actually having fun last night because I could hear that Petunia was actually playing behind me. And anytime I turned to look, she would, stop and run out of the room. Like I caught her at something. So as long as I didn't look, I could hear her playing with toys and scratching at a cardboard box.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel good that all of them are comfortable enough to actually play.
No, that is good.
That none of them are really too stressed out, because I was feeling it was kind of cramped with the 3 of them, and and Petunia tends to take everything as being aggressive and responds accordingly. She gets overstimulated just from being pet. So we know she had a hard life. We don't really know the full history, but it's obvious she was abused in the home of whoever had her before she wound up at the shelter.
My first cat was abused before we got her because she was actually missing the tip of her tail.
My female cat doesn't know what abuse is. She is spoiled. She has had nothing but the best of whatever ever since she was
Yep.
born. Now, my male cat, I got him when he was like 7 months old, and he was treated like shit for about 6 months. But because he was adopted, and then the people that adopted him treated him like crap for, I think it was like 6 or 7 months, and then I got him.
Yeah.
So I guess he was probably about 9 months old when I got him. Yeah.
Well,
my mom,
he's super like food insecure, and he's in charge of the food and the water and the litter box. And if anything's funky or not full or whatever, he comes and tells me. He'll yell at me and I'll say, "Show me." And he walks in the bathroom and he'll look at the litter box and look at me. And I'm like, "Okay, I got it," Or
Yeah,
he'll look at the
Petunia.
food dish and look at me.
Yeah, one of the dogs I was looking at before I got Molly, he was named Trouble. Well, and that one had been abused. He'd been thrown out of a moving car window.
Oh God!
And they found
Oh my
them
God.
roaming. They found them roaming around on the street.
Yeah, every time you tell me about that, I'm like, oh,
That's horrible.
I almost got that one.
yeah. Petunia had massive food insecurities. That even though we kept her dish full, she insisted on chewing a hole in the bottom of the food bag so she could eat directly from the bag.
Huh.
So, we couldn't have the food spilling all over, so I started putting the bag in the closet. And then she would keep Sloth Girl up all night because she would keep bouncing the closet door trying to get it open. Even though her dish was full, she needed that bag. So I wound up putting the food in a plastic bucket, and then she really panicked because she couldn't find the bag.
Oh my God.
Well, so I had to cut one of the bags open and wrap the bag around the plastic bucket where the food was. So now as long as she can see that bucket and she sees the label and she sees me taking food out of the bucket, now she's fine.
Ah, okay. Okay.
But she's just got to see that there's a bag of food there all the time.
Right. Poor thing.
And my mom's cat Tara, she was a kitten. Apparently, the mother had gotten hit by a car, and they just found the kittens on the road, and they kind of gathered them up and had them at this one. I think it was actually a veterinarian's place we got her from. We got the one cat, and one thing that was odd about her is she would only allow you to pet her for a little bit. So you had to pet her and then stop, and pet her a little bit more and stop. Otherwise, she.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant about Petunia being overstimulated. That, I can pet her maybe like 3 or 4 strokes or a little scratch behind the ears. But if I go much longer than that, she's going to turn around and bite my wrist.
Right.
So it's like we have to do it in cycles because it's like I'll pet her and I know if I don't stop, I'm going to get bit. But then she starts, pushing me with her head because she wants more pets. So it's like, pet me, but don't touch me.
Yeah, that's actually kind of how birds are with cockatiel. Pet me, but don't touch me. There's actually one exception to that was if I was to pet Tara with my feet. She'd come into the office here and lay down, and I'd put my foot on her and just kind of pet her with my toes, and she'd love that, and she'd sit there for like an hour.
Well, all of my cats have each, developed an obsession with just, sleeping with using my foot for a pillow. And it's just that's pretty bony. There's nothing soft there at all. But I guess they're just reassured by the smell.
Well, that's how I know that my cats are pretty content, because I'll wake up in the middle of the night and look at them, and they're all over the house, laying in different spots. They're, laying on their back with their bellies exposed, hard asleep. Don't even wake up when I wake up.
Yep.
And they don't like when I lived in the apartment before I moved into my tiny home, they were constantly like one was by my legs, my lower legs, and one was by my head all night long, every single night. And then I moved into the tiny home, and they've never been like that since. They detached from me after, I guess, about a month of living here, maybe 2 months, and they were totally comfortable. So
Well,
it ended up being good for both of us.
Yeah. Cats pick some weird places to sleep, though.
Well,
Yeah.
I've always kind of been like a cat. I don't
Oh.
like sleeping in big open areas. I like sleeping in smaller spaces. So when I moved into my tiny home, it felt more cozy and smaller, and I sleep better.
Okay,
So
but if you catch
that's
this one,
adorable.
there's a faucet there. This is one of those toilets that has a sink on top of it to wash your hands.
Right. That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't think cats really care about how soft the material is that they're sleeping on.
Well, it also depends on whether
Yeah.
it's cool or not, too. Like if it's hot out, my cat all summer, my cat used to sleep in the sink, and I'd come home and he'd be curled up in the bathroom sink, just sleeping away because of the cool ceramic. He loved it.
Well, I think it's part of their mass shunting abilities that I think that when cats go to sleep, they have the ability to send all of their bones into a hyperspace pocket.
Probably.
That's what it looks like what's happening here.
Yep.
That one's gonna have to pee soon. Like that one bar is right on the bladder area. The other one's shoved up his ass, so I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, and speaking of, Ethan is laying here right now with his tummy and a whole mess of toe beans exposed. So
I
you
love
know,
those beans.
yeah, he feels completely safe and knows I'm not going to mess with him. Yep.
Yep, cats are liquid. Yep. I agree with that.
Well, see, that's cats have the mass shunting ability, and this is like the Transformers. Like when a 20-foot robot transforms into a cassette player that you can put in your pocket, and a human has no problem picking it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, see, what actually happens there is when the Transformers do that, the extra mass is distributed between all the cats in the area. And that's why your cat winds up weighing over a ton.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever tried to pick up a cat and move it when they don't want to move?
Yeah. All of a sudden they're really, really heavy. Right.
This is one way.
Or they attach to something like Velcro.
I guess this is one way to lighten the mood. Pictures of cats.
Always good.
Oh my god, look at that cat.
Yeah.
Oh my god, both of them. That's hilarious.
Okay, the one in the box there on the left, that's how your cat comes from IKEA and you have to assemble it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's your cat drawer, so when you don't want it, you can disassemble it and put it away.
Well, you've seen people with these cats that aren't quite right. That's because they got an IKEA cat, and when they were finished, they didn't realize that those 3 fasteners they had left over actually were important.
Yeah, right. No, they're extra screws. Funny thing is they used to give you extra screws, and then they quit doing that.
Yeah.
I do need that picture of the liquid cat.
Okay, Sammy does this a lot of times when he's sleeping, that he winds up, I can see his 2 front paws, and he's got a 3rd paw that looks like it's coming out from his chin.
Right.
This one.
Yeah, Unfinished Journey's asking about Petunia. And yeah, even if I just try to put my hand against her, it's like, that's fine for maybe 30 seconds, and then it's time to bite me.
My cat, she does not respond well to pets unless she wants to be pet, period.
Yeah. Well,
That's
like I
just how she
said,
is.
it's clear Petunia was badly abused by a number of other indications. So, I just accepted when we got her that biting was probably the only way she had of communicating with humans.
Right.
So I'm okay with that, but it's also why I can't try to rehome her, why I can't expect anyone else to take her in and tolerate her. Because it was a real achievement after about 4 years that I could go consecutive days without getting bit.
Right. I remember we had a cat named Pepper, like Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
Because he was white and he was dark gray, and I don't know why we ended up, because I think I said it. Oh, he's Salt and Pepper, like a person, like an older person, and she said Pepper's cute. But yeah, he was adorable. He was beautiful, and we actually looked him up, and he was not a common cat. He was actually in a rarer species of cat. Or breed, whatever they call it. Breed of cat. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. I'm smoking pot too, so forgive me. Yeah, so he was actually not a common. It's like not a common house cat. It was like a cat that someone would go buy, like a bred cat, So he was super smart and really cool.
When I was growing up, we had a series of cats that everybody thought were named after alcohol. Because the first one was Butterscotch, but everybody just kept calling him Scotch for short. And then we had Whiskers, which everybody just kept calling him Whiskey.
Oh, God.
And then we wound up, getting one from a neighbor that was already named Brandy.
You guys were on a roll.
So, yeah, people just thought we were in the habit of naming our cats after booze.
That's funny.
I want you to tell TikTok what you just did.
No fucks were given.
I opened the door for a delivery person. And what did you do? You ran out. You jumped in their open car door into their back seat where their child was strapped into a car seat. I know. And then you took a chicken nugget from her.
Yeah. Oh. And the cat's like, car full of food. What you expect?
The cat's like, well, didn't you miss what you said? You said chicken nuggets. Duh. Cat went after the chicken nuggets. That's fucking hilarious. Well, you hear dogs doing that shit, but that cat must have smelled that from, the woman walked up and that smell was on her, and that cat just followed it right to the car like a fucking hound dog.
Cats love chicken.
Hound cat. Oh yeah, my cat's. Oh my God, when I eat chicken, I used to splurge like once a month or once every 2 months, and I'd buy one of those rotisserie chickens at Kroger or whatever. And oh my God, I love those things. And I would give them the breast meat because I'm not a really big white meat person, so I'd give most of the breast meat would go to them, and I just give them to a little bit at a time and put it in a baggie, and I just give it to them for a few days until it started getting funky.
Yep.
But oh my God, man, when I used to bring that home and that plastic bag was just like attacked, like they were like all over that shit. And then every time I'd put it, of course, I'd not eat it all at once because I'm only one person. So I'd pull it out of the fridge for a couple of days, eating off of it. And every time I pulled it out, oh, where's ours? Give me some chicken. They knew that chicken was in the fridge. He'd meow for it all the time and shit. And I'm like, dude, you can't just eat chicken all the time.
Oh, this is heartwarming. And so the aide noticed that the guy was sleeping with a picture of his deceased wife, Afe, next to him in bed. So,
hello.
I got you a present.
Hey,
I got you a present.
what's that, darling?
Aw.
Oh,
Oh, one of those photo pillows?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aw, look at him crying. Aw. Aw.
Let me see, Ken.
Show us what you've got, Ken.
Let me see what you. Oh, Ken. How beautiful.
They took the photo and put it on a pillow for him.
Oh, dear. Oh my God.
I thought that might be a bit better than your photograph.
Oh. Come in.
Aw.
Yeah, well, I am sleeping with Sloth Girl Proxy at the head of my bed, and
Yeah.
some nights just to fall asleep, I have to be holding her hand.
I hear you. I have a body pillow I cuddle with every night. I'm just more comfortable like that.
Well, Sloth Girl Proxy is the stuffed sloth that went with me on all the road trips when Sloth Girl couldn't travel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Had the whole picture in my head on the bed, even.
Yep.
Aw. Thanks, my unfinished journey. Purple will take that love.
Yeah. Oh, and I finally found out what the big deal about Squishmallows is.
Because they're super duper soft.
Yeah, well, Molly found a purple narwhal Squishmallow, so she bought it for me.
That's
And
great.
I figured it was just another stuffed animal. Why were people going so nuts about it? But yeah, what I didn't realize is that they're not stuffed like a regular stuffed animal. That
Nope.
the form is cut out of a big piece of memory foam. So when you squish them down, then they just slowly, expand back to their full shape like the memory foam pillows.
Right. Yeah, they're super cool.
Yeah, so it is an interesting texture.
My friend's girlfriend just got a big giant one. It's like, God, it's got to be 18 inches across. If it's not, yeah, I'd say about 18 inches across, almost 2 foot. And she got one of those bigger ones, and I touched it, and I was like, wow, that's super freaking soft. So, yeah, they're pretty great.
Yeah, I'm wondering, if IKEA started making the Blaha sharks out of that.
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
Right.
Well, since they're just such an icon for trans women already, I can see that would just explode.
They might as well just lean into that at this point.
Right. Just own it.
They have. They had officially announced that the shark was going to be discontinued in 2022. And there was such an outcry they weren't able to do it, and that's why they're still for sale.
Oh, I see. Isn't that crazy? A shark. All that fuss over a shark.
Well, it's just because it's got the trans colors in it was why it wound up getting picked up. That is blue on top, it's white on the bottom, and it's got a pink mouth.
Yep.
I wonder what this guy did to his first dog. You see all the other dogs?
Nice. This dog just flops on his back with the little socks.
I like this one. Yep.
He's sad on it.
This is a cute one.
Aww.
And this one gets a little humpy.
Yeah. There we go. That one got it right.
Lick. One leg missing.
We had a dog like that at the Zoomies where I worked.
I like this one.
But she was missing a hind leg.
Yeah,
yeah, that leg, as a matter of fact. Aww. Let me get in on it. Aw, both hands. That's cute.
I tried that with Molly, and she went and put her paw on my hand.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, actually, when I've adopted cats from the shelter, I always go looking for the ones that they consider unadoptable. So like if they had one that had like 3 legs or only 1 eye, I would have taken them first.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Sammy's son and Ethan, both of them are like, okay, they didn't have any with any, obvious problems like that. So I just asked them who had been stuck there the longest.
Oh, cool. I never thought about doing that. I always just looked around and found the one that seemed like it loved me the most and wanted to get the hell out of there the most.
Yeah, but I mean, there's always dozens of those.
I usually
Well-
have the animal pick me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's always, every time I've gone to pick a cat or any animal out of a shelter, there's always been one that has just been like, oh my God, I love you. I want you have to touch me right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the one that I know, like when they really, not just barking and getting excited, but they act a certain, like, it's almost like they're more submissive, but they're also, like giving you those googly, I love you puppy dog eyes at the same time.
Yeah. Well,
And then they're trying to get to you. They want out of that thing. They want to touch you. So,
Yeah, it's
anyways,
like-
I don't know. There's just something about it.
It's like the story with when we went to when I got Molly. I went there. The fire alarm went off because somebody was doing construction and they set it off. So I had to wait outside. I was waiting for him, and then come back in, and then they had to actually carry Molly in because she was scared. She was terrified. It was the first day she was in the shelter, and they had the fire alarm right after that, and so they carried her in. She comes up to me, puts her paws up on my knees, and looks up at me like, "You want to get on my lap?" "No, you can get on my lap." And I kind of coaxed her up a little bit, just kind of put my hands on her and just acted, didn't quite lift her up, and just kind of let her, give her a motion to let her know she can get on my lap. She jumps up on my lap and she puts her head on my shoulder. Okay, and put my arms around her, and then she settles down in my lap, and she stayed there for a while while we talked to the guy who brought her in and for me to be introduced, and then finally she got down off my lap and kind of sat next to me and started settling down a little bit and calming down.
Right.
Well, see, I figure the ones that are, all eager and running up to the front of the cage to get people to pet them, I figure those are ones that are going to be easy to find homes for. So I work to fix broken kitties, and it's like the ones that are hiding in the back, like they're afraid of people, those are the ones I usually go for because I figure it's like, I don't know what people have done to you before that you're so frightened, but, I can teach you that being with a human is not so bad.
That was actually the story with my first dog. My parents went to picked out the dog. I was in summer school at the time, and they went in and they had a big open area with all these little puppies. All the puppies are jumping around, barking. And they saw the one dog in the corner, really quiet, just kind of hanging out, looking like that one.
Right. That's how it went, huh?
Yeah, that's how they picked out the dog for me. And when I came home, she was in my favorite chair, just kind of sitting there looking all timid, like, "Oh, hello."
Well, and especially with cats, like if you go into a shelter and you see a cat that's sleeping in their litter box, for cats, that is a sign of severe depression. That is basically a cat thinking that they're trash and they should just be thrown out.
Right.
Because that means the only way they can find any kind of comfort is to just completely immerse themselves in their own smell and hoping that no one else will notice them there.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yes. Wait, how about cat meets bunny?
Do what now?
Cat meets bunny. It's a little bunny. Cat's like pet.
Oh.
Should I play it again? lady in.
Oh,
Yeah, he's being very gentle with it.
I was on the wrong tab. I was doing something else.
Eh.
I'm multitasking. So cute. Now that's a baby bunny.
Yeah.
Might be a dwarf bunny too.
Well, probably. They probably found it and, don't know what happened to the mother.
I don't know.
Yeah, but Ethan at the shelter, they said that he had come in from like an animal hoarding situation, that he came in with like 20 other cats.
Right.
And they had the ones that were left all in one room there, and it's like most of them were, kind of sleeping together, sleeping in small groups. And he was the only one way in the back corner who was all by himself. So that's why I figured he was the one I had to take. And, I'm sure that, hoarding a situation like that, he was very much neglected and didn't have much human contact. And it's like, yeah, now he's just an extreme cuddle bug. He just wants to be in my lap all the time.
I love kittens.
Yeah. I have made a decision that is emotional and I know very well is logically not advisable. But I'm basically giving up on the idea of rehoming one of my cats, even though technically I'm violating my lease. But then again, when it came time to change my name and the building manager had to write up a new lease, apparently, though I'd been living here for 4 years, she was unaware I had a cat, even though, Sammy's son moved in with me. So she had to check that I had paid the pet deposit. And I guess she just thought the 3 cat towers were some kind of modern art pieces when she came in here. So, I mean, if I got away without her knowing I had 1 cat for 4 years, how long can I get away before they realize I've got 3? Especially when 2 of them look more or less, pretty similar, and if a stranger comes in, they all hide anyway. So I'm figuring as long as they don't see Ethan and Sammy in the same room at the same time, they're probably not going to be aware that there's 3 of them. But I've gotten too attached to Ethan, and Ethan and Sammy have started to play together, so I feel worse about trying to separate him and send him away.
Yeah, it's just not even.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're all getting along and they're happy and you're okay and you can afford it, then
that's
keep doing it.
Fox is laughing.
Yeah. Well.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Maybe that's what I should do. My next pet, I'll get a fox.
I wonder if that's legal.
It is in certain. It is in certain states, and it also depends on the environment you give them, what the state laws are. There's a bunch of stipulations behind it.
Yeah.
Whether it's an endangered fox or if it's not endangered. If it's endangered, there's no way in hell they're gonna let you keep it.
Well, and there are some that are, specifically bred to be pets.
Right.
So it's like, if you take one from the wild and try to take it home, that'll get you in trouble. If you're buying one from someone who breeds them, then you're probably okay.
Yeah, they are trying to breed domesticated versions.
Yeah, I mean, it really, it's smarter to have a domesticated was Mage said version than to have a wild one, because the wild one has all the wild instincts in them, and someone's going to get hurt at some point. someone's going to be around, someone's going to do something, move wrong, whatever, the animal will take it wrong or whatever. So, yeah, I agree with that as far as getting them pre-trained for humans.
Yeah.
Sumami, chilo.
Especially if they've specifically been, bred for, many generations, that they're breeding the most docile ones.
Right. Yeah, of course. Oh, we're talking about foxes. May just showed. Show that again. Show that one again for Sumami. Do you have it up still?
No, I don't have it up still.
Oh, can you find it easily?
Yeah, I need to find laughing foxes and then take the sound and dub it over with Nather dogs.
There you go.
Nope, I'm gonna have to dig back through all my files to find it.
Oh, well, then don't worry about it. I mean, if it's too much trouble, don't worry about it. I was just gonna show her what we were laughing about. Like they were laughing foxes. Yeah. They were laughing and they sounded like little toddlers being tickled, and they were being tickled.
Well, this is an oldie but a goodie.
What's that?
How do I love this. A lot of people ask me after a long day of voiceover or writing or doing all those creative things that I do, how do I relax? Well, like many other Americans, I come home and I pet my dog. You see, petting your dog is one of the most relaxing things you can possibly do. It releases a hormone called oxytocin, which reduces stress. Also, it lowers your heart rate and it lowers your blood pressure. Plus, people who pet their dogs are 5 times more likely to live longer than people who just have cats. Plus, the dogs like it so much, and it's a nice bonding experience. That's right. Daddy's little boy. Daddy's little boy. Daddy's little boy. That's right.
Yeah, that's a lot like petting Petunia.
He's trying to pet him.
Okay, we're done.
I had a teacup Yorkie, and it would lick you to death.
I agree, Sumami. Fucking Chihuahuas, they are so mean.
Yeah. Well, I
my
don't
little
like small
yippy
dogs.
dog.
Go ahead, Commander.
Well, I had one of those classic yippy dogs, but it had a great personality and didn't do the typical yippy dog stuff. It was like lick anyone to death, go up to anyone. It wasn't a one-person dog like the yippy dogs usually are.
Yeah. Sorry for your loss, Sumami.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think I heard
always
about
hard.
that.
They become such a big part of our lives.
They really do. Like, I always act like I don't care, but man, when my cats die, I'm gonna freaking be a mess. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and I hate those people who just have the attitude that, when this one dies, I just go get another one. And it's like, you're not even acknowledging that they have individual personalities.
Yeah,
right.
It's part of your family when you look.
Oh,
yeah, I don't
by the
know.
way, Purple, I love the falling star thing. I just had to mention it.
Oh, that's Mage. Anything on this channel that looks good is Mage's fault.
That's not true. Mage had nothing to do with you, Purple.
Well, my avatars are Junie's fault.
What about the animated one? That's my fault.
Yeah, the one that does the intros, Commander Animated.
So I edited all this together.
Nice.
Yeah, but Junie is a great artist, and I'm not saying that just because she seems to perceive me as being 30 years younger and 30 pounds lighter than I am. Even though she has met me in person and she's actually seen what I really look like.
Yeah, that's some news article of somebody. They dropped their dog off at the shelter. They come back, like I think it was like months later, not to get the dog that they dropped off, but to get another dog because they were tired of the first dog. And the first dog, they saw the first dog saw them coming and thought, "Oh, I'm coming back home," and get all excited. And no, they weren't. They were there to get the dog.
Did they let them get another dog?
I don't know. I hope not.
Yeah, that's
God,
horrible.
I hope not. I hear you, Sumami.
When you take an animal into your home, you're making a commitment to take care of them for as long as they live.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and it's understandable when things can't go that way, but
see that's also why I was having such a problem with the idea of rehoming Ethan. Was I've actually had him for less than a year, and I had promised him he was going to have a forever home. So I really felt like I was betraying him by, sending him off somewhere else when he really hasn't done anything seriously wrong.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he gets into mischief. He gets up on the kitchen counters when when I'm not in there, he thinks I don't hear him.
That's funny. I used to have a cat, and what the hell was his name? He looked like Sylvester, and that might have been his name. I think his name was Sylvester. And he was really fluffy. He was long hair, but he looked just like Sylvester the cat. And he was always he would get up on top of my cabinets, get up on top of the refrigerator, open the door above the refrigerator, the little cabinet, they have. Open the door of that because it was so high up. My ex never used it. And we had like phone books or something stupid up there because, it was a rental and they were just in there. We left them there. And one day we come home, we can't find him anywhere. And it took us a good hour and a half. And we finally found that fucking cat. And he was up above the damn refrigerator and he had the doors had the springs on them.
Mm-hmm.
Those auto close, soft close doors, whatever, when they first came out. Yeah. So he would sneak in and it would just soft close behind him. Well, that motherfucker, we didn't know he was in there because the door closed by itself. Yep. But that was his spot. After that, we knew where to get him from.
There we go. So Mommy's got a plan for me if the landlord ever notices.
I agree, Sumami. That's a great idea. Here, babysit my cat for 2 days. I'll be back.
Yeah. Just take him through Monday, and I'll come Tuesday and pick him up.
There you
go. And Molly did offer to take Petunia, but Molly has children, and just since children tend to be loud and make sudden movements, I know that would not be a good environment for Petunia.
No. Yeah, for real.
Take Ethan.
But, Ethan would probably like the kids if he's mischievous.
Yeah, but they also have a couple of other cats and.
Baby would never do that. Baby would be trying to lick the hand.
Well, something to keep in mind. Look at the tail. This dog is not actually upset. This dog is actually just playing.
Yeah, they're playing. And you can tell because the other dog just wants to play.
Calm her down.
Yeah,
no, I think the other dog's just trying to get in on it.
Yeah, like I said, look at the tail. The tail is wagging. This is actually a happy dog. She's just playing.
Yeah.
No, if you saw the other dog wasn't going to the person, the white dog was trying to pet this one.
Aw.
Ferocious, like the ferocious frog that squeaks like a doggy toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a lot of that one. I did that with my current cat too, apartment Sky.
Antura says that she did that with her favorite cat, with with her current cat 2 apartments ago. But she didn't tell them she was getting a cat, and sent him overnight to a friend's house and got rid of everything cat related to the car.
And then brought it back after the inspection. That's great. Oh, by the way, let me give Jur a proper hello. Jur!
Hi, Andrew.
I appreciate Aunt Jur always being here and, moderating the chat to make sure nothing weird happens when I'm not watching it.
Right.
Yeah, we do get occasional trolls coming in here, and she's quick to dispatch them.
You know what you do to trolls? You tell them they're disgusting and to fuck off. After you've toyed with them, if they're being nice enough to toy with.
Well, there's an idea. Just take Ethan over to Molly's. He's on the days that you have inspections.
Yeah. Actually, both Ethan and Sammy's son have gotten surprisingly good with Molly and her son. That last time when they came over, they didn't even hide. And Molly even got a picture of Ethan and Sammy together on the window. See, I'm never quick enough to do that. By the time I get my phone in camera mode, they've always quit doing whatever I wanted to get a picture of. Now, I'm sure, in a similar vein to Mage, you put more effort into this channel than I do. I keep telling people this has been my experiment to see how far I can get on YouTube without putting in any actual effort. Which is why after 7 years, I've still only have 600 and some subscribers.
We did break 500.
Yeah.
So
well,
probably Saturday I'm going to do a 500 subby special.
Oh, cool. I have gotten some tips from some other YouTube creators, and, apparently it helps if you make content.
I gotta wait till February for the algorithm to pick up. The algorithm basically gives me a huge jump in February that sustains till around June, and then it gives me another jump, and then it gives me another jump around Ukrainian Independence Day, but I just keep getting a free ride off the Ukraine algorithm.
Mm. Yeah, well, I do get a bump every year in January after the Christmas marathon.
Which, by the way, I sent you the times that I can host Christmas Eve. I could also do, but I work at night, so I'd have to do in the afternoon. And I need to make a render of this doggy with a Santa hat. There is no way I can let that go without having a Santa hat on.
Molly is Purple's friend. So an entirely different state.
Yeah, I actually have been thinking about this and just, thinking that maybe Molly just, needs to have her own handle, and maybe we just need to call her like Sloth Friend.
There you go.
Oh, I got a video of Stumpy.
Oh yeah, this is that bird you were saying about that hangs out around your place and lost a leg.
Has he really? I think I
Yeah,
see a
topping.
leg.
Yeah, there's part
No,
of
it
the leg.
has it. It's just not working.
And there doesn't appear to be a foot on that leg.
Yeah, there's no foot on the leg. It's just a little bit of flesh.
Yeah.
Oh, poor thing.
So basically, he's got a stump that got, amputated.
Well, seems to be doing pretty
I'll
good.
bet
Same
he's
size
still
as the
like-
other ones.
Yeah, I've been keeping a close eye on him whenever I see the flock. Just make sure he's still there and doing okay.
Purple, I think you should put a thing out
Strong
there
bird.
in your like, I don't know, Discord or wherever you want to put it, and ask everybody to come up with something that has sloth in it, and for Molly, for her her new nickname, and see what we can come up with.
I was thinking, I actually had an idea, to get some views to the channel and prepare people for what kind of stuff we do here.
Right.
Of of taking a bunch of sloth girls jokes and making shorts of them.
Well, I still need to get a couple of slots for your Christmas special for my gardening channel and my pop culture channel. I haven't been able to see the calendar.
Yeah. The calendar has definitely been filling up. I'm not sure. Right now, I'm not sure what's left because since I wasn't able to check it this morning, I've got like 16 messages on Discord, so I'm sure that some of those are going to be to fill up some of the remaining slots.
Well, I haven't even been able to see the calendar. It's been I've been just getting that blank calendar when I look on
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell everyone else is seeing it.
Well, no, everyone else isn't seeing it. I've been doing it manually and just giving people a list of what time slots are left.
Well, maybe take a screenshot so I can see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't fit on one screen though.
I'll take multiple screenshots.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't think of doing screenshots for you. So I will do that, and I will drop screenshots in the YouTube or in the Twitter group when we're done here. Because that's well, Mage, just did you want a morning or an afternoon or evening time slot?
I tend to prefer afternoons. Mornings, I don't know where I'm going to be. But,
well, we technically don't have any afternoons left.
Oh,
We-
okay, well,
we've-
evenings will be fine then.
Well, we've got one slot on Christmas Day. That would be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. your time.
That might work.
Okay, let me pencil you in for that one.
11 to 12 my time. Okay.
Well, 11 to 1 your time. It's a 2-hour slot.
Oh, it's a 2-hour slot? Okay.
Yep.
We can work that.
Okay, I put that in the schedule to reserve the slot for you.
All right.
Nice.
So, what I am having trouble filling is that we've got, early morning slots, things that start at 5 or 6 a.m. So I had been hoping to get some UK or European people to fill those, but not having a lot of response on that angle.
Well, I'll take a look at the thing and I can work out a little bit more details and
Yeah.
I was figuring for my pop culture channel, I'll maybe do some singing and maybe talk about some manga and anime, or for the gardening channel, I was thinking about doing a thing on poinsettias.
Poinsettias.
Yeah.
Aren't poinsettias dangerous for cats?
Yes, they are. If cats
eat 'em?
they can be poisonous.
Actually,
But it has to be. It has
Actually-
to be a certain amount, and I think a certain
Yeah.
type, doesn't it?
Actually, the story of the poisonous poinsettia is actually a myth.
Oh.
It
Say
can
my cat ate a poinsettia one time and he was fine.
it can cause nausea and vomiting though.
Oh, okay.
But apparently that myth comes from. I'll actually get into the story and all that, but apparently it came from a little girl who apparently ate something and got sick and died.
Okay.
And the myth blew up. But I'll be getting to the myths of that. I'll be getting to where it got its name. I'll be getting to how it got to be associated with Christmas. A little bit more technical detail on growing it too.
Nice.
That's kind of what I have planned for that.
Cool. Look at you go.
Yeah, I figured my mother would do that. Edison's last year I did the Christmas tree.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, Molly's son, who just turned 14, has already decided that he wants to go to college to become a botanist.
Oh, cool.
All right.
So yeah, every time I go over there, he has to show me how all of his plants are doing.
Cool.
And he does have two of the plants that we thought Sloth Girl had killed that he managed to revive.
Oh, very good. I can get him to subscribe to my channel. I like to talk into science stuff. So and you'll be getting credit for one of my videos back for the voice ace bit.
Ah. Good.
Whenever I get around to making that video.
Well, as long as one of them worked for you. That's all that matters.
Does Beck voice a plant in your video?
It's actually a little bit of gag thing I'm doing at the beginning of the video. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's actually a video on how plants photosynthesize. And meant to get around to that, but things kept coming up. I had the pneumonia back to back with the bronchitis for all through September into October, and then I had other things like just one thing after another.
Yep.
Fun thing, plants. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say plants not only breathe CO2, but they also, in addition to making oxygen, they also consume oxygen when they burn the sugars that they create for energy.
Yeah, I guess they would have to. I never really thought about it.
Well, I get into the process of how they use CO2 and all that, photosynthesize.
Yeah, one of the plants that Molly's son has revived was before we left Michigan. My sister-in-law had given Sloth Girl a spider plant. So that one even has its own theme song.
All right.
Which I made up.
Of course you did.
Spider plant, spider plant. Why do they call it a spider plant? Spin a web? No, it can't. Climb a wall? Not at all. So why call it a spider plant?
I thought you were going to say a spider plant doing everything that a spider can't. I don't know.
Well, you guys, the spider can't photosynthesize, so I guess it's correct.
Right. Nor is the spider just going to sit there
plants.
constantly and wait for someone to give it water.
Well, I guess somebody saw the leaves and thought it looked like a spider legs coming out, or perhaps it has to do with the way it buds off.
It is
actually
that's
my understanding is it's just because spiders really like living in them. So I can see, back when people believed in the, animals spontaneously germinating, that I could
Right.
actually see people believing that maybe these spiders were produced by the plant.
They could, yeah. I mean, they thought the black cats are bad luck, and that the the gods would kill you and strike you down if blah 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 blah. Like they really believed that shit was going to happen.
Yeah, I think it just has to do with the look of it, how it buds off. Like this one here, you can see it looks like it has the runners with the little budding plants. It kind of looks like them kind of crawling her down the desk there.
Yeah, they look spider-esque. They really do. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they
the plant itself looks like a couple spiders stacked on top of each other.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, and that's what Sloth Girl had gotten from my sister-in-law, was that she had a bigger spider plant that started doing that, and some of the offshoots were hanging there, but had already started to grow little roots. So
Right.
she snipped off one of those and potted it, and so that's the plant that Molly's son has now.
Interesting.
Nice.
This is also how strawberries tend to work with the runners.
My mom had a spider plant when I was growing up. She had lots of plants though, so she had a severe, huge, large green thumb. She could just look at it and talk to it, and it would grow. I swear to God, any plant she touched thrived. Matter of fact, my sister has a. Mage, you'll find this interesting. My sister has a very large aloe plant, and it's, I don't even know how big. She quit putting it in a bigger container, so it would quit getting bigger because it's so large. But I would say it's probably 15, 16, maybe 17 inches across, easy. In the center, like widest part of it. So, and it's cut pretty tall. But that plant was grown off of a clipping off of my mom's plant before she died. So that my sister still has my mom's plant, basically.
Yeah, there's this
after all these years, and she died in 1989. So it's like that aloe plant is still kicking.
Yeah, there's this one plant that's I have out front. That was my mom's plant, and she always took clippings of it and gave them out to people. Well, so basically, if I see that plant anywhere else in town, it's likely a clipping from that one plant that I have out front there.
Oh, okay.
And I just realized I gotta walk Molly, so I will be back if you guys.
Okay.
I'm actually about to take off, but
yeah, Beck, were you wanting to host the spot during the marathon?
I don't even know what's going on right now, Purple, with this, because I'm just starting a new job, and I don't know if I'm going to work like Christmas Eve, or I have no idea right now, so I might not want to do that. I will holler at you a couple days before and see if I have time. I'll holler at you and see if there's any spots you need filled. How about that?
Yeah. Or if you can, it's always good to have somebody on standby, because inevitably,
something
we always
happens
have
to
somebody who sleeps through their stream, or somebody who's, having technical difficulties, and we need somebody to fill in on less than an hour's notice.
I'm pretty sure, Purple, that out of the last 3 years that I've been around you doing this, that there's been 2 of the years that I have jumped in and helped because something happened to somebody.
Yeah.
So,
well, I know you did last year.
Yeah, I'm game. I'm game to do that for you again. So
yeah, I'm good. I'm probably good for that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, just let me know. I mean, I killed my big StreamYard account because I just can't do it anymore. I can't. I'm not up to streaming all the time. So, but I can still do the 6 people free thing.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, Commander, you said you left me a note. Where did you leave that?
I sent you the private message. It was basically any time in afternoon from like 12 to Discord.
Yeah, you said 1 to 4. Is that Central or Eastern
I can
time?
do later. That that was Central for you. I know what that is, Eastern, and I could do actually, so I could actually do from 1 to 5 Eastern. I'm not
Actually,
Eastern, Central.
Christmas Eve, the only times we have left are 10 to 11 in the morning and 10 to midnight at night. There is an evening
10
slot
to
available on
11.
Christmas Day. Okay, just want to fill in that
do
hour
not
in the
know
morning.
if I am working.
Right.
Yeah, I could do that hour in the morning.
Okay, I'll put you in for that.
See, filling up already, Perps.
Yep.
Yeah, just let me know if I'll keep an eye out. You can you have my phone number, don't you?
Yeah, it's in my phone.
Okay, if we should make sure that's the right one. I'll message you. I'll message it to you on
Yeah, drop it on Twitter.
Because I think I've changed it since I think you have my old number. So I'll give that to you, and then if you need help, just text me. How about that?
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. I got you. All right, beautiful people. I'm going to take off. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see y'all soon.
All right. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
So we're closing this thing out, or?
Yeah, I guess so. Here.
I gotta head over to Slim's too.
Okay, so I guess we're
could I
closing this
put
out.
a link in the chat and just
sure.
let people who know we're here? YouTube is not sending out notifications.
I
like
gave up on
they
YouTube
used to
sending
ever
out
since the
notifications
election.
years ago.
Yeah.
Which
so
is why
basically,
I appreciate people putting up
Finish
place cards ahead of time, because when I see those come up in my stream, I put those in a separate playlist I call upcoming streams. So then I can always go to that and I can see who's planning on streaming today.
So basically, the DSA streams 3 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. The Saturday is usually a point and laugh at something, and then I'm taking comments provided by combination of me hunting Allie and going to Allie's Wall of Fame and Wall of Shame over at the Clean Matters Discord server and making fun of Russian trolls. That's Sunday. And
Okay.
Saturday's more point and laugh. It's like at Mud Fossil, False Prophets, Pseudoscience, Religious Nutters.
Yeah, the Mud Fossil is something I have. I won't say it's quite a love-hate relationship, but it's like, it's funny, but it's such severe cringe.
It's like what I think of spirit science. It's
Yeah.
colorful, it's bright, it's cheery, and then when you scratch the surface and you realize where all of it comes from, Madame Blavatsky and Alice Bailey, and then you realize how dark it can actually get.
Yeah, well, that's Maya asked me to be on Bad Science Sunday this weekend. And I said under the one condition that we're not doing mud fossils. Last time I was on her show, we did Roger from Mud Fossil University. And it's like, yeah, I've had enough of that for a couple of years now.
Well, I can find like tons of other stuff. And, there was one person who once said that my brilliance was wasted on them, because of being on the spectrum and a lot of other things.
Mm-hmm.
The way I carry myself is not exactly, like I'm stuttering, but I have a brain upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you put things together really well. Sometimes you might have a little more trouble articulating it, but I know the thoughts are in your head. You just have to get them out in the right order. And I can relate to that. Oh. Well, I did have one personal announcement. That 2 days after Christmas, I will be having my top surgery.
Oh, good.
Because,
Mazel tov.
They had been telling me that they were booked solid through the end of April and weren't scheduling any further. But I got a call this week that they had a cancellation, and it's like, if you can make this, otherwise it's waiting until probably at least June. So I'm getting boobies for Christmas. Mommy and Sis'll be mad, but I'm getting boobies for Christmas, like I always wished I had had.
And if Mommy and Sis don't like it, well, that's too bad.
I wish I could make a full Christmas Carol out of that, because you know how that would piss off the turfs.
Well, I will see
Warping
if I
a Christmas
can.
Carol to be gender affirming.
Let me see if I can write something for you and get some inspiration from AI if necessary, because that would be fun.
Oh, the wonderful thing about boobies. Boobies are wonderful things. The tops are made of rubber, the robins are made of strings. Bouncy, fancy, 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 full of fun, fun, fun. The wonderful thing about boobies is there's always more than one. There's always more than one. Woohoo!
Okay, so we were wrapping up here. So, Commander, if you want to drop your links in the YouTube chat for people, and just tell us what you're going to be up to. What have you got coming in the next week or so?
Saturday and Sunday, 3 p.m. We're going to do a point and laugh. I have multiple things up that I need to decide between. We've done Roger Mudfossil too many times. Not too many times. Basically, we're probably going to do Karen's or Flat Earth. And then, and that's Saturday, 3 p.m. And then, Sunday, 3 p.m. We're gonna do another just point and laugh at how ridiculous a lot of the Russian tools are, and they are ridiculous. There's gonna be some fun stuff, some serious stuff, some educational stuff. I know that I need to not front load it with the stuff from the 1950s, but some of my stuff's still valid as far as pointing out what they do.
Godless Granny had a really good question for the Flat Earthers. Was that even if they think it's a disc, it has to have some thickness to it. So, how thick is the Earth? How far would we have to dig down before we make a hole through to the other side? It'd be a good question to ask a Flat Earther if you ever had one on your show.
Well, I think that they're afraid because my other avatar is a penguin in power armor. And, if I know who you are, right? If I've known you a really long time, even in the chat, it is an open panel. So anyone who would like to join at any time, we don't bite. And, yes.
Yeah, just Saturday is usually the day I have other people asking me to do things. And if I get Saturday that nobody's expecting me to show up, I just tend to lay in bed all day. I tend to keep that for a recharge day.
And then when I either basically past the 10th of January, I'm going to be able to stream at different hours, and I will possibly even do a stream from Australia with
Okay.
Midpet.
That would be cool.
Possibly one with Monkey. Because you can save about $1,000 to $1,400 off a trip to Australia just by going to London first. I
I've
don't
heard
know
that,
why.
Yeah.
I'm losing light.
Yeah, okay, so let's let Mage. You have anything you want to plug before we go?
Just we'll be doing School Live next. I believe we're up to 7, 8, and 9 episode. So you can look for that. And tomorrow, if you're in my Discord, it'll be midnight showing my time. It's Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. Well, and for me, we have next week is Christmas, so we have one day less than a week before the Christmas marathon will be starting. But also on Sunday afternoon, and now I've lost the note with what time it is, I will be on with the Kentucky Atheist. And then Sunday evening, I will be on Bad Science Sunday with Maya and Dr. Tapioca Weasel. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up here so Mage can get out there and take Molly out while there's still a shred of daylight. So thank you all for coming.
Oh, and Slim Cyborg channel.
Yep. And thanks to our supporters, Kitty the Atheist, Robert X, Greg Hartwick, Sandy Shore, Skitzcrasher, and a very stable milking stool. So I appreciate everybody who helps keep us running, and thanks to Antjer for moderating. And I know other people also do some of the moderating, but for the most part, you're so quick about it, I don't even realize what needs to be fixed. So I appreciate you being there, even if I haven't actually seen what you're doing. So with that, we will bid you all a good evening. And yes, the Christmas Day Marathon will be starting next Wednesday or next Tuesday at 5 a.m. on the day of Christmas Eve, because that's the first stroke of Christmas at the International Dateline. So anybody who is going to be up at 5 a.m. Central Time, drop in and watch the kickoff and see what's coming after.
Later.
Bye-bye all.
Bye-bye.